What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and we're here. We're on the last part of my Peter Pan and Wendy movie review. If you guys missed the first two parts, I'm going to link them at the top right of the screen, and I'm also going to link them in the description box below, so you can go check out those videos and then come back and witness the final review. But this is the one. This is the one where you get to see most of the girl bossing and the wokeness and everything like that in this movie. This is where they really turn it up to maximum between girl boss Wendy and girl boss Tiger Lily. It's going to be obnoxious. So stick around, guys, and only I'm going to ask you two things, of course. Consider giving this video a like to help push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and not only that, consider giving me a long view duration, because the longer you watch this video, the more chance we have to fight the YouTube suppression when they don't like hearing things we have to say about topics like this. So with that being said, let's get into the final review for Peter Pan and Wendy, the movie. All right, so last where we left off, we finally got to the indigenous tribe, the Cree tribe, as we like to say it, where Tiger Lily and the entire Cree tribe was essentially alerted to Peter Pan's shadow, because in the last review, Peter Pan essentially died. At least that's how they want to make it seem. Peter Pan died, lost his pixie essence and everything like that, and his shadow managed to escape and go to the Cree village and get the attention of Tiger Lily, our famous indigenous girl. Now, this entire last part of this movie is a girl boss wet dream. I'm telling you, it is so unbelievably obnoxious, and some of the stuff they do is utterly ridiculous. I just don't even know where to begin, but let's just get to it. So all the kids are locked up, of course. Captain Hook has them all locked up, and they realize that Peter Pan is dead. At least that's what they think. And Captain Hook is saying that his mother used to sing a song very similar to the one that Wendy sang, which is what made him remember to come home in the last review that I spoke about. And then Captain Hook goes over his backstory about his mother. Check this out.
Well, he perished. Were I not saved by this man here? There I was, rescued and raised by pirates. And by and by I became their captain, and I, in turn, brought them right back here.
But why?
And then Captain Hook ends up saying, obviously, that there's no way he could be happy ever again, that he's just going to have this constant pursuit between him and Peter Pan. But now that he thinks he's killed Peter Pan, that he kind of has nothing to live for at this point. He's realizing that him and Peter Pan kind of need each other to keep each other alive, sort of a thing. Where it ends up getting said that this is what it looks like when you grow up wrong, where Captain Hook is essentially what it looks like when you grow up wrong and you grow up evil and you don't grow up, you grow up bitter and everything like that. Of which Captain Hook obviously says he really doesn't care and essentially tells Wendy to go fuck off. Then he threatens to walk the kids off the plank, but Wendy ends up begging to just make it her and not the other kids. So of course, they're going to make Wendy into the sacrificial lamb because she is the girl boss. Tinkerbell cannot rescue them because Tinkerbell has been captured in this little candlelight fixture thing over here. And then what ends up happening, Tiger Lily, of course, with her indigenous magical powers, because they all have that clearly, they use some magic stuff to seal the wound that we always see in typical Hollywood tropes when it comes to indigenous people. And Peter Pan ends up coming back to life somehow. Check it out. Again, why are you speaking in fucking Cree? You obviously know that Peter Pan doesn't understand it. But again, this is just what I swear, Tiger Lily's probably the most cringe character out of everybody, simply because of the way they portray her. You could tell she was made and created by someone who has no fundamental understanding of the diversity they're trying to portray. And it's just all the stereotypical stuff that they could possibly put out there. That's what they do. And it's sad, man. It's like, why are you talking to him in Cree when he doesn't understand? Speak English. You obviously can speak English, and you know that's what he speaks. They even make it a thing to differentiate her language between Cree and in English. If you look at the subtitles, it always says in English when she speaks English and in Cree when she speaks Cree. They don't do that for anybody else speaking English, so they want to make sure you realize that they're differentiating the two with her. So Peter Pan ends up running to go rescue the kids, obviously, and then realizes he has no magical powers anymore because his pixie dust has completely gone away. Check it out. Why is she speaking in Cree again? like, why the fuck are you speaking in Cree? Speak English, man. You know he doesn't speak it. It's so frustrating. Anyway, so he doesn't have his powers anymore, but she says you don't need powers to rescue someone, and of course they're going to go out and rescue the team together. Now we got the final scene, which, well, I mean, this takes place over the entirety of basically the last end of the movie. But the pirate ship is the big final scene. They're gonna walk Wendy off the plank. Obviously, the pirates are all singing their good old song. Can't play because of copyright reasons. But Wendy ends up getting walked off the plank. Tinkerbell summons her magical powers that she somehow, for some reason, didn't do it before, and now is able to do it now, where she is able to break free right before Wendy falls off the plank and ends up saving her. And then we get this good girl boss feminism comment that she just had to throw out there. Why? Because girls rule and boys suck. So anyway, Wendy ends up jumping off the plank. Of course, everything looks yellow and greenish as always. Captain Hook comes back and is happy that Wendy walked off the plank, but then starts to realize that he didn't hear a splash. And then he starts to question everybody. Did you guys hear a splash? They say yes, but then they start to say no because they realize they didn't hear anything. And then what ends up happening? We get our girl boss moment. Check this out.
Well, that looks like...
Got Super Saiyan Wendy over here. That's the first thing I thought about when I heard the holy music in the background and everything. It is absolutely fantastic. I love it, man. The girl bossing is just great in this movie. Tinkerbell obviously got free. She put the fairy dust all over the entire ship somehow because she is just incredibly overpowered. And Wendy is here floating and is super powerful now all of a sudden. But that's not the best part. The best part is that Captain Hook notates that she has the boy's magic, Peter Pan's magic, which it was his magic. Everybody knows that Peter Pan was the one that had the magic from good old Black Tinkerbell. But Wendy has to make it a fact or make it a point that this magic belongs to no boy. It definitely is not a boy's magic before she utterly destroys everybody on the ship. Check it out.
You have the boy's magic.
No, this magic belongs to no boy.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this serious, but I just can't, man. I can't take it. Like, are you serious right now? All right. This magic belongs to no boy, and then she just floats forward, obviously on strings because she's floating so terribly, and the effects are so terrible. It just looks cringe. She's like, this magic belongs to no boy, and then she floats a couple of feet, and then the entire pirate ship, they're like, oh my god, it's so scary. It's like, what come on, man. You just killed Peter Pan. Why are you scared of this girl? Shoot her with a cannon or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous, man. But again, this is what we were expecting in this movie. So Captain Hook is not really too phased and says, my men would lay down their lives for their captain, which is true. And then we get this moment. Check it out.
Would lay down their lives for their captain.
Yes. But what's a captain without his ship?
So we have super powerful girl boss Wendy that's about to flip this entire freaking ship. She is floating in the air. She says the magic belongs to no boy. It is unbelievably cringe. And then we have Tiger Lily, the other girl boss with Peter Pan, because again, Peter Pan has to be rescued by the women. This is something that is pretty well known at this point. Peter Pan does a major big jump off of Tiger Lily's horse and onto the pirate ship, which is a pretty cool scene, I'll admit. But he does a typical thing of using his sword to slide down the top of the ship and ends up landing on the actual ship. They have a final battle between Peter Pan and Captain Hook yet again, and the pirates are pretty much fed up because they even say, well, wake me up if one of them kills each other, because they're used to this constant battle between the two already. Then they have a little bit of a showdown in the middle of the pirate ship. Check this out.
Faith, trust, and pixie dust.
No. No pixie dust this time. No magic. No tricks. Just a little help from my friends.
You dare to speak to me of friends.
So again, if you guys realize, he is constantly, like, you can see it a little bit behind my avatar. His face is so stiff. I do not like him as Peter Pan. I'm sorry. I do not like him as Peter Pan. I think Law definitely played Captain Hook a million times better than this guy played Peter Pan any day of the week. But it's because they're not hiring real actors. They're hiring the cheapest actors they possibly can who check off diversity boxes in the hopes that the movie takes off. And if it doesn't, then whatever. They don't care. They didn't spend much money on him to begin with in the first place. So we got this whole final battle. Hook is fighting Peter Pan, obviously, and girl bosses are about to destroy the entire ship. Literally, you got Wendy fighting off all of these pirates, and it's like Wendy doesn't know how to fight. She never knew how to fight. How does she magically learn how to fight? Did the pixie dust give her the ability to learn how to do swordplay? Look, it's ridiculous. Check this out. Now, is that not a Rings of Power scenario? Come on. Is this not a Rings of Power scenario? It's literally I need to replay this. Let's replay this entire scene. Hold on, because again, this is just, it's so unbelievably cringe. Seriously. Like, you can even see that the dude didn't even aim anywhere near her. They all aim to the left of her, and then she does her whole super jump because she's so powerful, and it's just ridiculous, man. Like, come on, these girl bosses are stupid. At least, like, Peter Pan, if you want to sell me on the kid trying to fight one adult, all right, no problem. But you got these chicks literally fighting multiple 200 to 300 pound dudes with no problem and no prior experience whatsoever. And then that's not only that. Now you're going to have Tiger Lily come up because, again, we can't just have one girl boss. We got to have two. And what does Tiger Lily use to fight these enemies with swords? A tomahawk, because, of course, this is what to expect from indigenous people. So she hops in and she completely obliterates everybody as expected. Check it out. Girl boss. I can literally see like girl boss show up at the top left. You know what I mean? Like, this is just, my God, I can't. The cringe in this movie, guys, and I really tried my best to, like, I watched it for you guys. I really did. But when I saw these particular scenes, the first one was Peter Pan rolling everybody down like a bowling ball. That was just, like, insulting. But again, whatever. And then now you got Tiger Lily coming in here. You got Wendy somehow knowing how to use swords. It's just weird, man. And I really hate it. I really, really do. I hate this movie so much with a passion. And then after Tiger Lily ends up beating up a bunch of dudes, she wants to yell at them in Cree because clearly they speak I can't. Stop speaking in Cree. Now, how did they understand her? How did they understand her? Like, she yells at the pirates to stop right there, and they stopped. They don't understand Cree. What the fuck? Come on, man. And then not only that, I got to show you in a clip. We caught this on live stream. I got to see if I can catch it. It's hard to with the stills. But there's two suns. Like, you got one sun back here, and you got another sun in another scene in the opposite direction. Now, I know Neverland has 2 suns and 3 moons, if I'm not mistaken, but I wish they would have told you about that before catching it on screen. Because to me, that looks like an editing blooper. To me, okay? That looks like an editing blooper or a shot blooper if I didn't know any better. So Captain Hook and Peter Pan end up fighting each other again, and then the ship ends up famously, obviously, flipping because that's just a thing that happened. And then we have the moment everybody's been waiting for. Peter Pan is about to fall because he has no pixie dust magic. And as he's about to fall, who is he rescued by? Good old Wendy.
No, hang on. Don't let go.
So Peter Pan was rescued by Wendy because, of course, that's just something that has to happen in 2023, and ends up getting his crack dust back, and now he can officially fly again. Then we have a final scene of floating Peter Pan and Captain Hook, where they have this little discussion. Even though Peter Pan has the upper hand, he doesn't want to kill Captain Hook. And then Captain Hook says, imagine a Neverland without the two of us, because again, they feel like they need each other. Without him or without each other, they have nothing to live for, essentially. Peter Pan sort of agrees with him, but no matter how bad Captain Hook wants him to end him, he just won't do it. Check it out.
I need you to fight.
This isn't fun anymore.
It's not supposed to be fun!
Oh, Captain.
So, of course, Wendy has to save Peter Pan again. Jesus Christ. Like, how many times is Wendy going to save Peter Pan? Peter Pan is more than capable of fighting for himself, especially now that he has his crack dust back. But again, I guess she thinks that he's not going to do anything because that's his friend. Captain Hook is essentially saying he needs this fight. He needs them to keep fighting because it keeps him alive and it gives him something to fight for. Whereas Peter Pan doesn't want to do it anymore because it's not fun anymore. And then the kid ends up taking a shot at Captain Hook, and then this happens. Check it out.
Gotcha. Don't worry, James. Just think happy thought.
Peter.
I haven't got any.
So that's probably the saddest part of the movie, to be honest. Where he's like, just think happy thoughts, and the old angry man's like, I don't have any, you know. And it's darker when you think about it in that way. So he ends up falling. Peter Pan gets all emotional because that was his friend ultimately at the end of the day. And Wendy says, don't you think it's time to get the Lost Boys home? Of which Peter Pan agrees to. So all the Lost Boys end up going home. We have this magical indigenous scene with the girl riding a horse in the middle of a green field because we obviously need that in today's world. And we get back to Wendy's home where her mother is there. She embraces her mom. Her father is there. And then there is the boys and the Lost Boys. Everybody, her brothers and the Lost Boys are there. The parents have no idea who the hell all these kids are. And then they slowly but surely realize Peter Pan is real. Wendy has a final conversation with Peter on the top, saying that growing up is the biggest adventure of all, but Peter Pan ends up disagreeing and goes back on the pirate ship and goes back to Neverland. But before he goes back to Neverland, Tinkerbell finally has some words to say. So Black Tinkerbell this entire time has been muted, and she only gets 5 words to say in the entire movie. Check it out.
Wendy, thank you for hearing me.
So that was it. She just says, thank you for hearing me, and ends up leaving. That's it. That's all Tinkerbell gets. So Wendy's on the top of the roof, obviously. Peter Pan ends up going back to Neverland because that is his destiny. And then right at the end, we see Wendy inscribe something at the top. Peter Pan was inscribed at the top of the brick, and she decides to write her name, Peter Pan plus Wendy, because she has to make sure her name is there before the movie ends from there. So again, guys, this last little scene right here shows Captain Hook in the water being embraced by Peter Pan, returning on the ship, smiling at him, and then it ends from there. That's it. They both smile at each other because they know they can't live without each other. They are destined to be in constant combat, or at this point, it's implied that they will be friends again. I'm really not sure, but the movie ends from there. So this entire movie was terrible, okay? It had some redeeming moments, especially with Captain Hook, but ultimately, it was just a terrible movie. Like, the movie was very bland, very boring, not fun at all. It is terrible to look at. I had to watch this movie in super high brightness because it was such a dull looking movie that I feel like I was missing things when it was so dark. I just can't with it. Not only that, the typical diversity tropes that they try to shove down your throat, it is so insulting in my opinion. Again, this woman is speaking Cree to people who don't understand it, and they somehow understood it enough to realize what she said at the very end on the pirate ship. But the entire time she's speaking Cree in the movie, she follows it up with English because she knows they don't understand. But Disney has her speaking Cree because it's the diverse thing to do, and they want to make sure that you understand that she's indigenous. You know what I mean? They have to show you that she is indigenous. You cannot confuse it with anything else. Give her that tomahawk, give her a few feathers, give her a horse, and give her the Cree language and make her speak it even though nobody understands it. Peter Pan, obviously super overpowered in the beginning of the movie when he has that stupid fight scene, and then suddenly he needs to be rescued by Wendy and Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily, who has no powers. Wendy becomes a Super Saiyan, able to flip an entire ship, able to fight off multiple dudes with swords, able to save Peter Pan not only once, but twice. It is just ridiculous, man. The girl bossing in this entire final scene was terrible, and it really laid it home, just the kind of movie we were watching. So again, guys, the final score that I'm going to give for Peter Pan and Wendy, the movie, is a solid 3 out of 10. I think this movie gets a 3 out of 10, honestly. I think it's very below average. It is not a fun movie to watch. It is not a fun movie to look at, and it just isn't magical like the original Peter Pan, and I didn't expect it to be. All these live-action remakes are never as magical as their animated prior forms, and it's really sad to see, and it's never going to stop. It's just going to keep going on and on and on and on. They're going to keep doing this bullshit live-action remake fiasco that they have going on because it gives them their diversity points, and they're not going to stop. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my reviews. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the videos, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.